Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Craic. This is the part 2 of episode 3. So we're me and Brandon. I don't know why I just called you Matt.
Sorry.
No, I'm used
Welcome back, everybody. Glad you're here.
Yeah. We're going to talk about kind of technology that is starting to develop now, but is going to change the way kind of that we see the future, or what's going to happen in the future. So
exactly.
I'm actually, I talked about this before in the first episode, but I'm a bioengineer. Yep. So that's the degree that I graduated with, and I've also gone to NASA for some time to do some research with them. And a lot of people don't really understand the field of bioengineering and kind of what's going on right now. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that, specifically tissue engineering and regenerative medicine. This is a field that is really going to change the way that people see medicine as well as see engineering and biology. But it's also going to be kind of controversial because a lot of the things that they're doing right now is, for example, growing tissues that they can transplant into human beings.
Right.
So this is something that, say you get a skin burn on your arm, right now instead of taking a graft from another part of your arm or regrowing the graft from some sort of polymer, we could actually regrow your skin from your tissues and graft that onto your arm. So this is something that could help victims of disease and trauma and stuff like that. But it also, can expand your life expectancy. So
right. Again, we don't want to get too deep into philosophy or anything now. So we'll try to keep it light and try to keep it light in the comments and everything. And, we're not going to be throwing arrows and spears at each other just yet. So
not yet. But, that'll be next episode. No, I'm kidding.
But that's definitely interesting.
Yeah. So. This is something that I've kind of been into, and something that I would be interested if I go into, getting a PhD or something like that in bioengineering. It would probably be in the field of tissue engineering and, learning how to grow these different organs and stuff like that.
And how to make superheroes, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's funny because I was just watching last night an episode of The Flash, which is a new TV series about this superhero. If you know The Flash, he's from the Justice League, from the DC comic universe and everything, and he's this guy who just has the superpower to be able to move extremely fast, and he runs at super high speeds and everything. And in the episode, they're talking about bioengineering and everything, so it reminded me of you and everything. And they're talking about some, stuff that I don't understand, basically, particle accelerators and stuff, and how trying to get into a little bit of the science of how superheroes would be able to, do some of the stuff that they do, but it never gets real deep into explaining that because it's all some kind of theoretical stuff, right? So. But it's definitely very fun to kind of entertain that idea, right, of where we could go with some of this technology and how you're saying it can reproduce, cells and stuff, or however that works. But to even use your imagination to take you even further into thinking, maybe superpowers would be, somewhat of a possibility or something,
Well, do you know something that can get you into that state? Oculus Rift.
That's right. One of the things I wanted to talk about was the Oculus Rift, and that's another form of video gaming, but it's a virtual reality headset. And
so you could visualize your superpowers.
Exactly. And you tried it out, right?
Yeah.
You tried
awesome.
something it's pretty cool, and I have the original developer kit, and so I've messed around with that, tinkered around with it a little bit, played some of the games and stuff available for it. The original Oculus Rift wasn't it's not a completed product by any means, so it's not super advanced in the display and everything. It's not a perfect HD quality display, and so you can still kind of see that it looks like a video game, even though it all looks very real and simulated, to some degree.
Yeah.
It still kind of has that video game look to it. But right now, where they're at is they have a second developer kit that they're working on, and they actually just released in July. And so it's pretty new right now, and it's a slicker, slimmer version of the original, but it's got better motion tracking, so as you're moving your head around, you can see where you are in the simulation. And it's also got just better graphics, basically better HD quality graphics and everything. So everything just looks that much better, that much more real, that much smoother. And some of these simulations or games that you play with the Oculus Rift are so like engrossing that you feel like you're actually there. And it's actually funny to watch some people go through this experience because they're just so amazed or in awe of the experience. Or even for some of the games, they have a lot of the scary horror games out there.
Oh, I don't even want to play those.
Those can be.
You're telling me about those.
Yeah, those can be some of the most terrifying things to like experience because it feels like any second, something's gonna jump out at you for real, and like grab you and kill you or something, basically,
Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to deal with that. We should stick to non-realistic things for those.
They can be extremely intense.
Yeah. Like sweating.
But anyways, right now they have the two developer kits. Oculus Rift is working on a consumer version, which will be hopefully even more streamlined, more user-friendly and everything, so more people will be able to get their hands on it. And the biggest problem right now with the Oculus Rift is some of the wires and stuff that you got to have connected to it, so they're trying to make it wireless and everything, but then also like the motion tracking, because if you're wearing it for too long, you can get a little sick. You can get a little bit nauseated or dizzy or whatever.
Well, I mean, that's with anything, though.
Exactly.
I mean, you watch TV for 12 hours, you're also going to get nauseated.
Exactly. But that's what people like to do. I mean, come on.
They like to binge on things.
What's the point if you can't be living in the Oculus Rift?
Yeah. Or eat 12 cakes at one time.
Yeah.
Do whatever you want.
Have everything in moderation, people.
Yeah.
They're working on a consumer version, which they'll hopefully be able to release next year. That's kind of the plan as of right now, but nothing official has been set. There hasn't been an official release date yet, but that's kind of what they're shooting for, I think.
Yeah, that'll definitely change the future of gaming, because imagine playing like a first-person shooter and something like that. That would be crazy.
Yeah,
that would be so
intense,
awesome.
right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I could see a lot of things kind of developing out of that, and even, kind of take the place of some of these computer games or Xbox games.
Right.
Because a lot of these things would be, I would say, more enjoyable if you felt like you're in the experience.
Yeah. And I think they're even trying to find ways to use it in simulations, just for people to learn how to do real things, real tasks, like driving a car, or flying a plane, or I think they're even trying to use it in the medical field of trying to allow these surgeons to be able to operate through machines and stuff, and other various forms of technology where they can use the Oculus Rift to virtually operate on someone else.
Yeah.
Like how amazing would that be?
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I actually heard of a story about a doctor using the Google Glass on when he was doing surgeries on patients.
Yeah.
So he could actually look up information while he was doing the surgery without having to do, actually go type on a computer or something like that. He could just tell commands to the Google Glass. It would pull up information or, diagrams of things so that he can continue the operation while he's, in the moment, rather than, breaking for figuring out what he should be doing. Even
okay, you guys hold on for a second. I gotta go look this up. All right.
You know what he's doing. Like, all right, we have the heart. What do we do now? So,
what do we do now?
Yeah.
Go to the library.
Yeah.
Find something. Find a book.
Where's my intern?
Yeah.
But besides that, one of the things that I wanted to talk about was kind of also relating to bioengineering in the medical field and stuff like that, and tissue engineering is NASA actually just got a grant for, or not a grant, but they kind of like delegated $50 million to the research of how kind of tissues and these different organs grow and develop in space. So a couple of these, the ones that I'm kind of interested in, there's two right now NASA aims that are relating mesenchymal stem cells to how they, or I could just say stem cells, to how they grow in space to create these tissues. And what they've actually found is that some of these tissues grow and develop differently in space than they do on Earth. So there might be certain applications that we could do in space that we can't do here on Earth. So that would be really interesting. Say you could, grow a full organ in space or something that you couldn't grow on Earth, and then transport it back down to Earth to transplant it. That would be something that would be really interesting and really expensive. But definitely something that everybody should keep an eye on, because that would really change the way that we integrate kind of like space with healthcare and these other things, which before we thought probably completely irrelevant. They're not related at all. Right. But maybe there's a lot more relation than we initially thought.
Yeah. Or maybe we could just go full cyborg and then we don't need any of that, right?
Just start replacing parts and then besides that, related to cyborgs. There's when I was in college, actually, I did research with Professor John Rogers. He's a pretty well-known
Shout
material.
out to Professor John Rogers. How's it going, man?
He's a pretty well-known materials researcher. And what I did with him was flexible electronics. So these are electronics that can be used either like on your skin or even internally, like on your heart, to cause your heart to beat. Or like one of them that they did was an electronic that it was kind of like a patch that they would put on their skin, and then using motion they could control things. Like on their website they have them controlling a helicopter just using rotating their arms like this, because they have the patches on their forearms. So these are the things that I was researching and working on developing, as well as I was working on an antenna that you could attach to these things, so you could wirelessly talk to other devices. So you'd have a receiver that collects the signal and then tells the computer what to do.
Right.
But one of the things that they wanted to do is, right now, when you go to the hospital, you have all these things connected to you. Say you have like an EKG, and you have the pulse ox that's connected to your finger to measure blood pressure. All these things.
Yeah.
And what if you could simplify all these things to a single patch that has no wires, and you could just put on your chest, and it would wirelessly transmit data to a receiver. And this patch, would be super cheap. It would be, dollars instead of costing, thousands of dollars.
It'd look a lot nicer too.
Yeah.
Being connected to everything.
And it's really cool because it's flexible like your skin. So as your skin stretches, the electronics also stretch. Yeah. So that's something that kind of goes into like the cyborg, where you're starting to connect yourself to technology.
That kind of makes me think of the movie Iron Man and Tony Stark, how he's got this little suitcase that he has fly out to him basically as he's falling in the movie, and it like opens up and it's his entire suit in this little suitcase, and it just completely wraps around him. And all of a sudden he's able to fly in his suit and everything. Yeah. Like maybe we would have something like that, a little personal suitcase that we carry with us. That's like an emergency kit, Like we have some kind of emergency, we get hurt, injured, or something, or have a heart attack. Our personal medical kit. just opens up and starts taking care of us. You know?
That'd be crazy.
Carts us away and stuff to the nearest hospital.
Be less expensive than like an ambulance ride, probably.
Yeah.
Which are like thousands of dollars just to ride in an ambulance, which is ridiculous.
It becomes a jetpack and just flies us away as we're like,
I don't know if that'd be the safest method. Yeah.
Just flying us away.
Yeah. But that's some of the stuff that I'm interested in. I'm interested in
For
like
sure.
materials and medical uses for biomedical stuff. So
yeah, I'm totally interested too, but I don't understand any of it. So
yeah. Well, I mean, in the future, I mean, I have tons to talk about on this. So if anybody's interested in more details or more, specific things in the biomedical or material science world, definitely leave a comment and I can answer any questions that you might have, as well as in later segments we could definitely expand more on these things and especially technology. I mean, I'm sure we'll have tons of stuff.
Oh, I know,
because we haven't even really
there's always
touched.
new things coming out. Right, that
we've touched like 3 themes in this episode, so we have plenty more to talk about.
If this is definitely something that interests you, let us know. Let us know what you would like to talk about in the future, and maybe we could do that with you.
Yeah.
And so feel free to contact us through the comments below or at craigtv@gmail.com.
Yes.
And give us your input. We'd love to hear back from you and start a conversation between you guys.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add to that?
Nope. Sounds good.
All right. Thanks for watching, guys. You have a good week, and stay tuned for our next episode.
Yeah. See you guys later.